Okay, so my last video I explained that I was going to attempt to make a jute match, and a lot of people had asked what's a jute match. So I'm going to show you. This is my first attempt at making one. The only knowledge I have is what I've seen on other videos. So I'm going to show you what you need, how I made it. This is how I did it, and we'll try it at the end. So basically what you need is you need some jute twine. You need a pan, because I have to melt the wax, so I am going to use a double boiler method. So you need a pan with some water, you need some wax, you need a flame or some kind of heat source in order to heat up your water so you can melt your wax. You need some sort of metal tubes. These are aluminum. You can use brass or copper, you can use brake line, and I'm going to show you how it's made. Alright, I'm going to show you how you prepare the jute twine. You have to braid it. So, what you want to do is you want to get 3 pieces that are about, well, however long you want to make it, maybe 18 inches. And the first piece, what you're going to do is you want to loop it. You don't want to cut it. So you want to loop it. And then where that meets up, you want to cut it. So that's one piece. And then the other piece, you want to just make it as long as that piece and cut it. So in effect what you'll have is one 18-inch piece and one 36-inch long piece. Now these are just rough estimates, but in that first piece you just fold it over into a loop and cut it, and then you have a regular 18-inch piece. So what you want to do is you take your loop and your other piece, just like this, and you want to knot it. Just a regular overhand knot. So then what you'll have is something that looks like that. Now, the loop, I'm going to show you how I do it, what I think is the easiest way to braid. Okay, so I'm using the lock of the door to show you how to do this. That loop you can put over, I've seen one guy put it over the knob of the handle of his vise. But basically all you're going to do is you want to French braid this. So you have 3 pieces, you have 2 outsides and an inside. Okay? What you want to do is you always want to take an outside over the inside. So you're going to take an outside, doesn't matter which one, outside over the inside, and that's going to create a new inside. Outside over the inside, new inside. Outside over the inside, outside over the inside, just like this. And you just want to keep going along and doing that whole thing. Outside over inside, outside over inside. And that's what you want to do all the way down through. I'll get this finished and I'll come back and I'll show you what we do at the end. Okay, so now I've got that all braided, and what you want to do here at the end to tie this off is you want to take your two outside strings and just make an overhand knot. just like that. And that will keep it from pulling apart. So there you go, you have your loop, and you have your braided jute twine. On to the next step. Okay, so the next step is just getting your wax melted. I'm using my knockoff generic Trangia stove, or Trangia, however you want to say it, and the double boiler method, just for safety reasons with melting wax, you don't have a fire. And as always, whenever I'm doing my experiments, I always have my fire extinguisher nearby, just in case. So basically all we're doing is we're waiting for that wax to melt, and then I'll be back and I'll show you the next step. Okay, once your wax is melted, all you want to do is take your braided jute twine that you made, put the whole thing in the wax. You want the entire thing soaking in there. I'm just going to let that soak. What you'll notice is as it's soaking, you'll have little air bubbles coming up, which is good. That's just getting all the air out of the jute twine. I am going to shut off the burner. I don't need that going anymore. So we're going to let that soak a few minutes. And I'll be back. Okay, so now that's been soaking, oh, I don't know, for maybe almost 5 minutes. I'm going to take it out. And you're just going to let that cool. Let that cool for a few minutes. Probably good to give it probably at least a half hour to cool down. In the meantime, what you can do is get your tubing ready. Now, you can make these however long you want. For the demonstration here, I'm gonna just make a, I don't know, about a 6-inch piece here. And all this is a piece of just aluminum tubing, just something I had out in the shed. The best thing to use, from what I understand, is a standard size, like brake line for a vehicle. Brass. You could probably use, you know, copper pipe, like maybe a 3/8 inch piece or something like that, 1/4 inch. So I just had what was available to me, what I had laying out in the shed. That's what I'm using. So I am also going to make a longer one. This one's about 12 inches. And this one I feel will be perfect for the campfire. So when she's lighting the tinder or the fire starter underneath, you know, she can stand more upright to, I don't know, call it laziness, whatever, but I'm just thinking it's going to be easier when she's lighting the campfire to have this, because you got a long length to stick in there. So after this cools down, I'll be back and I'll show you. Now on these tubes, also another thing you can do is I have a flaring tool. I'm not going to do that right now, but you can take a flaring tool and you can flare this out just to make it a nice rounder edge. I just took a sanding block and I used some sandpaper, and then I used some real fine wet sandpaper just to make it nice and smooth and get all those edges off. I mean, you could go crazy with this. You could paint it, you could put designs on it and clear coat it, whatever you wanted to do. But for now, this is just an experiment, so I'm just doing it with this. So we'll be back. Okay, so now we gave that quite a bit of time to dry. So now all you're going to do is you're going to take your tube and your jute, your wax covered jute I should say, and you're just going to feed it through the tube. Guess you guys can see where this is going now, right? Now that knot, bear with me a minute while I get a scissor here. Nothing like being prepared. Now that knot, just going to cut that off. Just like that. Now because it's new, what you need to do is you need to roughen this, like fray this end up. You want to get the wax off, just the very end, get it frayed up. And that's important when it's new to get it to light. That's all you're going to do. Now after this first time, if you have it lit the first time, you won't have to do this. Okay, so you see that? I frayed that up. Now, you just light it. Now you can use a lighter, you can use a ferro rod. I'll do the ferro rod. There you go. And there's your match. This is perfect for fireplaces too. So you can reach in there. And this piece will last a long, long time. Then all you have to do to put it out, pull it through the tube, and that's it. It's out. It's pretty cool. There you go. Easy to reach. Now I've seen guys make them small enough that you can put it in an Altoids tin. This is a alcohol stove experiment I'll be trying. This is actually tiki torch wicks. So I'm going to be making a little grate and a leg stands for the pot on this too. But I've seen guys cut them short enough that they could put them inside and roller jute twine up and put some sort of ignition source in there, be it a small ferro rod or a mini Bic or something like that, matches, whatever, and they've got it all in one kit. So there you go. And this longer one will be nice for up at the camper, for the campsite. And I also think for, you know, a wood fire, if you have a fireplace. So there you go. That's the jute match. Comment, let me know what you think. I think it's a pretty cool idea. One other tip too, if you use a smaller piece of tubing, like if you use the brake line, this will be a tighter fit. So you may have to, all you have to do is just take, once you have, this cools down after being in the wax, you just roll this in your hands like this. I don't know if you can see that, but it makes it a tighter, just by rolling it in your hands, it makes it a tighter, like it makes the jute tighter so that it'll fit better in the tube. So I didn't need to do that for this because this is a little bit bigger tubing. But there you go. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. As always, I appreciate the viewers, subscribers. Take care, and God bless.